Hello, my name is Harun Rashid and in this video I will guide you how to submit invoice into iSupplier portal. To start with, come on to the portal, type in your username and password and click login. After you click login button, on the main screen you will see two responsibilities, DHG sourcing supplier and iSupplier full portal access. Click on iSupplier full portal access and it will take you to the main page where there are home tab, order tab, shipment, planning, finance, product, intelligence, and admin. In order to submit the invoice, first you should review what is the status of your order. To review the order, click on the orders and it will generate the list of all the purchase orders which are between you and us, or alternatively you can click all purchase orders and click go button and it will generate all the list of POs which are generated between you and us. Over here you can observe there is a PO number, operating unit, document type, description, order date, who is the buyer of the order, and what is the amount of the order, and what is the status. The status over here is important. It will show open, it will show close, or it will show finally closed. Finally closed means that this PO has been cancelled or it has been fulfilled already. Closed means that the PO is completed, means that you have submitted the invoice, and open means that still the invoice is not yet submitted, or you have submitted the invoice but it is not yet approved from finance department. So in order to investigate further, what you need to do, click on the PO number and over here observe the summary. There is total amount, which is total amount of the PO without VAT, received amount, which is total amount of the work completion report or goods received note, which we call as WCR or GRN. And then invoiced amount, which means that how much invoice has been submitted, and then payment status. Please note that all these things are in a step, means that first the order will be created, then there will be GRN created, then invoice will be submitted, and then payment status, payment will be paid. If there is no received amount, then you cannot submit invoice, means that if the received amount is showing 0 over here, you cannot proceed for submitting invoice. So what you need to do, you need to contact the operations department to give you the GRN or the work completion report so that you are able to submit invoice into the portal. How you will know that who will be the requester person? Click on actions menu, click view PDF and click go button. It will generate a PDF and on the PDF there will be a requester person and there will be a mobile number and email address and name for that person. You can contact with that person, ask him for the WCR, and after you receive a WCR, then you come back to the portal, check in the summary once again that whether the received amount is showing here or no. If it is showing, then it means that now you can proceed for submitting invoice. So the next step will be, take a note of this PO number, or you can copy this PO number, click on finance tab. There is a button, create invoice with the PO go button on the right side. Click on this one. Now over here we have entered into creating an invoice. So invoice creation is divided into 4 steps. First one, to review your purchase order. The second one, enter the details. Third one, manage tax. And fourth one, review and submit. So we have already reviewed our purchase order that against which we want to create the invoice. We will just put the PO number over here and we'll search it. Click go button. So after you click the go button, it will generate the list of GRNs which are created against this purchase order. So you select the line items for which you want to create invoice and click the next button. Now we are into second phase where we will enter details for our invoice. So we will mention the invoice number like invoice number 1. Then we will enter the date of the invoice, let's say 30th November 2020. Then we will enter the description of the invoice. Description of the invoice, you can enter your own description also, or you can take description from the PO itself. Let's say for the month of November. And then you need to add your invoices, add your supporting documents. It is mandatory to attach the signed scanned copy of invoice, delivery note and supporting documents. Without attachment, invoice will not be processed, and please ensure that the invoice value entered match with the attachment invoice value to avoid rejection of the invoice. So what you need to do, click on the add button, and here on this screen you need to attach all your supporting documents. You have option to attach all the documents together, mean that you can make a scan copy for all these documents into one PDF, and in the title you just mention like invoice plus work completion report plus service report or delivery note. Then click browse button, choose your document from the system. Okay, so while attaching these documents, the things which you need to take care is that you need to attach your invoice, you need to attach your work completion report or WCR, and you need to attach your service report or delivery note. The requirement for the invoice is that invoice should be a tax invoice. The PRN number for both parties should be there. Invoice should be signed and stamped, and there should be bank details appearing on the invoice which are registered with us. Then for the service report or delivery note, it should be signed by the operations team. And for the work completion report, you can attach the email, or even if you have a hard copy from the operations team, you can attach that as well. So after attaching all these documents and making sure that these are according to the requirement, click on the apply button, and a notification message will appear that attachment of invoice has been added successfully but not committed. It would be committed after we finish the rest of the process. So now we scroll down and we check over here that what is the available quantity which we can invoice. Available quantity means that amount of the WCR, the quantity of the WCR or GRN which is created by operation teams for you to submit invoice. If it is matching with your invoice, it's okay. Otherwise, you have an option to create a partial invoice also. Over here, you can amend the quantity. Like if, for example, this available quantity is 1 and you want to do a partial invoice of 0.5, you can change it to 0.5, and automatically the amount will change. Then, after verifying this quantity, click on the next button. Now we are on to the third stage where we will manage the tax, means that the VAT amount which is applicable to us, we will manage that one. We will see that whether it has been calculated correctly or no. If you scroll down into the summary, you will see over here the price breakup. That items means that amount of the invoice without VAT, then tax means the VAT amount, and the total means the amount with VAT. You need to match this price with your invoice what you have attached. If this price is not matching with the attachment, then it means that you have attached a wrong price or you selected a wrong quantity when you were creating the invoice in the previous step. So always you can go back and you can amend the quantities, like go back and amend the quantities and press next button and proceed to the manage text portion once again, and then review the summary again. See, the amounts has been changed: amount without VAT, VAT amount and total amount. This amount should match with your invoice. It is very important to make sure this one, that this amount is matching with your invoice. Now we'll click next button. Now we are on to the fourth step where we will review and submit the invoice. Means that all the information what we have entered before, we will review it, like invoice number, invoice date, invoice description, We can review the attachments by clicking on attachment. So after verifying, okay, this is okay, click to return to create invoice. Then scroll below, check the amounts once again. And if you are comfortable that this is okay, click on submit button to submit the invoice. So after you click the submit button, a notification will appear on the screen that the invoice has been submitted successfully, and there will be no other notification, only a screen notification will come, and you can just verify from the screen only that the confirmation message has arrived, that invoice was submitted to our accounts payable department on 30th December. The confirmation number for this invoice is the invoice number. You can query this invoice and check for the status of this invoice onto the finance tab. So now we have submitted our invoice successfully. In order to check this invoice whether this has been approved or no, or it has been uploaded successfully or no, beside this message, in the future you can click on finance tab, then click on view invoices, then click on go button. This will generate list of all the invoices which you have submitted along with their status, where there will be invoice number, invoice date, invoiced amount, and this is the status. In process. In process means that you have submitted this invoice and it is not yet reviewed by finance department. So after finance department, they review and they approve the invoice status will change to close. Like for example, these invoices, their status is showing approved. So this is how we submit our invoices into the portal, and this is how you review your submitted invoices, that what is the status of your invoices. Thank you very much.